You could feel it shift. One moment, it was a typical Cleveland Browns practice, the kind where the veterans casually dominate the tempo, and the rookies take their notes, do their reps, and keep their heads down. But then Shedeur Sanders stepped into huddle, and the air changed. It wasn't loud. It wasn't flashy. It was different, like watching someone take ownership of a room without saying a word. This wasn't just another rookie getting reps. This was a player making a declaration. If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed. Shedeur had heard it all. The draft slot whispers, the nepotism jokes, the arm strength critiques, the he's not ready, he's just a name, and of course, the ever-lingering shadow of being Coach Prime's son. Every throw he made wasn't just against the defense. It was against all of that. And in this moment, under a blazing Ohio sun, against a defense that didn't take rookies lightly, he didn't just answer back. He dismantled the narrative. It started with the first audible. The veteran linebacker across from him grinned. Surely the rookie was bluffing. He wasn't. Shedeur spotted the disguised safety blitz, checked into a quick slant, and hit his receiver in stride before the rush even broke the line. One play, and already the eyebrows were raising. Then came the tempo. Play after play, he went no huddle. He called protections like he'd been running the Browns' offense for years. He moved through reads like a seasoned starter. No panic, no flinch, just calm execution. He wasn't out there trying to be perfect. He was just running the damn show. By the time he stepped into his third series, the sideline wasn't watching a quarterback compete. They were watching the quarterback emerge. Let's be clear, this wasn't about stats. Sure, he completed 9 of 10 passes in that stretch. Sure, he dropped a 35-yard dart between two defenders that made Amari Cooper stop mid-stride and pointed him like, yeah, that's our guy. But this was bigger than completion percentages. This was about command, and there's no stat for that. You either have it or you don't, and Shedeur does. What happened next? You could call it symbolic, poetic, maybe even faded. The veteran quarterback, respected, experienced, well-paid, took the field for the next set. It was his turn to reestablish the hierarchy, to remind everyone why he was a starter. But the rhythm was off. The throws were high, the reads a step late. One pass nearly intercepted. Another stalled drive. His voice in the huddle didn't quite hit the same anymore. The team wasn't out on him. But the energy, the spark, it was gone. It was like the locker room had already made its choice, and everyone was just waiting for the coaching staff to catch up. After practice, the contrast couldn't have been more obvious. Shedeur, still in full gear, walked over to the veteran QB. No bravado, no posturing, just respect. Appreciate you, man. You pushed me to go harder today. And the veteran? He paused, nodded, then said what everyone on that practice field had already started to believe. You got it, kid. Just keep going. Mutual respect. No animosity. Just a passing of the torch that hadn't officially happened yet, but was clearly on its way. By the time Pat McAfee got wind of the story, it was game over for the skeptics. I'm telling you, McAfee said on his show, wide-eyed and fully caffeinated, this kid ain't just playing quarterback. He's living it. He's in the zone already. He's built different. It was more than praise. It was validation. From someone who knows what pressure looks like. From someone who's seen the pretenders and the real deals. From someone who doesn't hand out hype for free. McAfee doesn't buy the narrative. He burns it down when it's wrong. So when he says Shedeur is different, that's not a hot take. That's a warning. To other teams. To rival scouts. To anyone still clinging to outdated draft grades. And maybe more importantly, to the Browns front office. Don't wait too long. Because every day Shedeur is in QB1, the questions get louder. What are we doing here? Why are we wasting reps? What else does the kid need to prove? And here's the thing. No one is saying Shedeur has to be perfect. No one's crowning him MVP before week 1. But when you see a quarterback commanding a team in practice like it's a playoff game, you can't ignore it. There's a reason the greats always talk about what happens when the cameras aren't rolling. That's where you find out who's built for this. That's where culture is made. And right now, Brown's practices belong to Shedeur Sanders. Still, there's a real challenge looming. Practice is one thing. Preseason is another. The moment Shedeur steps onto field under stadium lights, it becomes real. The expectations, the hits, the noise, the pressure, all magnifies. The same people praising him now will turn on him the second a rookie mistake shows up on national TV. That's the game. But here's the catch. Shedeur knows that already. He's not caught up in the hype. In every interview, every huddle, every moment, he's measured, focused. You can tell he's preparing for more than just a shot. He's preparing to own it. And don't forget, he's been scrutinized longer than most NFL players ever have. Since high school. Since the day his dad, Deion freaking Sanders, announced him as a future star. He's had cameras in his face for years. He's had doubters longer than most people have had jobs. If pressure was going to crack him, it would have happened already. Instead, he's getting sharper, stronger, hungrier, and the locker room feels it. You see it in how the O-line protects him just a little harder, how the receivers run their routes with more urgency, how the defense chirps less and listens more. He hasn't been anointed, but he's been adopted by the team, and that's sometimes more powerful. The Browns have been searching for a quarterback savior for decades. The list of failed experiments reads like a cautionary tale. Big arms, big contracts, big busts. But Shedeur, he's not here to sell jerseys or headlines. He's here to lead. And it's that quiet, relentless consistency, the grind, not the flash, that separates the good from the great. Will he make mistakes? Of course. Will he hit rookie walls? Absolutely. But he'll also do what every great leader does. Respond, adapt, elevate, and maybe, just maybe, transform. So here's where we are. A fifth-round pick with a Hall of Fame bloodline, outdueling a veteran in camp, earning respect from NFL legends, and setting the tone for an entire franchise before he's even played a snap. If that doesn't sound like a franchise quarterback in the making, what does? The whispers turned into conversations. The conversations became debates. And now, the Browns organization is staring down the barrel of one of the biggest quarterback controversies the franchise has faced in decades. Only this time, it's not about who failed. It's about who's finally rising. Shedeur Sanders didn't just flash potential during those practices. He ignited a movement. Within weeks, Cleveland's entire football energy had shifted. Players were buzzing. Position coaches were quietly lobbying. Film rooms weren't just studying Shedeur for development. They were studying him for preparation. This kid might start, not in week 10, not in garbage time, but week 1. And what makes it more fascinating isn't just that he's a fifth-round rookie making a case. It's that he's making that case while a $230 million quarterback is still on the roster, still taking snaps, and still, well, struggling. The tension around Deshaun Watson is no secret. Since his arrival, the Browns have carried the weight of expectations, controversy, and now, underperformance. When the franchise gave him that fully guaranteed deal, they weren't just buying a quarterback. They were betting their future on him. And for the most part, that bet hasn't paid out. But here's what nobody saw coming. That the challenge to Watson's role wouldn't come from another top pick or a splashy trade. It would come from a 21-year-old rookie who plays like he has nothing to lose and everything to prove. Inside the facility, coaches are quietly reshuffling reps. In the morning quarterback meetings, eyes aren't just on Watson. They're on Shedeur. And not out of obligation, out of curiosity, out of belief. Because what Shedeur brings isn't just hope. It's clarity. You see it in the way receivers respond to him. Elijah Moore, quietly one of the Browns' most underrated weapons, was reportedly heard saying after practice, "It just feels cleaner when Shedeur's throwing. Not bigger, not flashier, just cleaner. Route timing is tighter. Progressions are faster. The offense looks, dare we say it, smoother." Of course, this opens the floodgates of speculation. Could the Browns actually start a rookie over a max contract quarterback? Would ownership even allow it? Could Stefanski survive the backlash from either decision? Because this isn't just a football question. It's a political one. On one side, you have the Golden Arm veteran who was supposed to return Cleveland to playoff glory. On the other, a rookie with a famous last name, unshakable poise, and a locker room that's slowly but surely falling in love with him. And here's the kicker. Shedeur knows exactly what's at stake. He's not playing coy. He's not pretending the depth chart is set in stone. In interviews, he's respectful, but make no mistake, he's also intentional. I'm just here to execute, lead, and win, he told a group of reporters after practice. I don't care where I was drafted. If I'm on the field, I'm playing to win. That's not just media polish. That's a rookie who smells opportunity and is moving like he belongs. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the stadium. The fans. Cleveland fans are loyal, but they're also tired. Tired of resets. Tired of excuses. Tired of quarterbacks who arrive with all the right stats and none of the right heart. And in Shedeur, they're seeing something they haven't seen in a long time. Identity. He's not just another arm. He's not a maybe. He's a leader. One who makes you believe this team could actually build something, not just survive each week. Local sports radio is eating it up. Callers are already demanding Stefanski give Shedeur the Week 1 nod, even if it's a limited game plan. Others are calling for a true quarterback battle, open and transparent, to let the best man win regardless of salary. That noise, it's only getting louder. And it's not just local. National pundits are chiming in. Rich Eisen, on his morning show, hinted that Cleveland might be sitting on a Tom Brady moment if they don't act fast. Sometimes the guy who looks like a backup just isn't one, Eisen said. And when your locker room knows it before your coaching staff admits it, things get uncomfortable real fast. And that's the word, uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable when the rookie is consistently outperforming the vet. It's uncomfortable when players light up more when Shedeur enters the huddle. It's uncomfortable when your long-term plan starts looking short-sighted. But you know what? Great teams embrace discomfort. They adjust. They evolve. They don't cling to contracts. They follow momentum. And that's what Shedeur Sanders has become, the momentum guy. Now, here's where it gets even more dramatic. Let's say Stefanski doesn't start him Week 1. Let's say Watson gets the nod, plays average football, and the Browns go 1-3 in the first month. What then? You think fans won't start chanting? You think the media won't explode with free Shedeur headlines? You think players won't start asking quiet questions in the locker room? It becomes an avalanche. And the only way to avoid that is to get ahead of it. Give him real reps in the preseason. Give him first-team receivers. Give him meaningful time with the offensive line. Let the world see the decision being made, not in a press release, but on the field. Because the worst thing Cleveland could do is smother this fire with politics and contracts. Let the kid cook. And look, we get it. It's risky. Quarterbacks develop at different speeds. One camp flash doesn't mean franchise greatness. We've seen guys dazzle in July and disappear in October. But this doesn't feel like a flash. This feels like a flame. And it's not just about how Shedeur plays. It's about why he plays the way he does. He's been doubted. He's been second-guessed. He's carried the weight of expectation not just from the outside, but from his own DNA. He doesn't just want to succeed. He needs to. And that kind of motivation, that's dangerous in the best way possible. So now all eyes are on Berea, on the practice fields, on the depth chart tweets, on Stefanski's every word in the pressers. Because every decision from here on out carries weight. This isn't just about starting a rookie. It's about choosing a direction that could define the Browns for the next decade. Will they stay tied to the past? Or will they take the leap and ride with a player who's changing the culture every time he touches a field? We know what the team thinks. We know what the fans want. Now we wait to see what the coaches do. And if they choose wrong, well, let's just say the most popular guy in Cleveland isn't the backup anymore. He's just the unofficial starter waiting for the announcement. It's the middle of August, and every camera in Brown's training camp is now zeroed in on one man. Not Deshaun Watson. Not Joe Flacco. Not Kenny Pickett or Dylan Gabriel. It's Shedeur. Every drop back, every audible, every sideline chat with Amari Cooper is dissected like a Zapruder film. He's gone from developmental fifth-rounder to the most heavily scrutinized rookie in the NFL, and he hasn't even taken a regular season snap. That's how fast the tide has shifted. And the Browns front office? They're scrambling. See, this wasn't part of the plan. The franchise committed to Watson, not just financially, but strategically. He was the centerpiece, the face of a new era. They built an entire offensive structure around his strengths, his legs, his improvisation, his vertical arm. But when Shedeur stepped in, everything changed. Because his style is different, cleaner, quicker, more cerebral. He's not trying to scramble for 20 yards. He's processing, adapting, and delivering darts in rhythm. In a league where defensive coordinators feast on hesitancy, Shedeur's timing feels like a cheat code. It's surgical, and it's throwing everything into question. Because now the Browns aren't just comparing numbers. They're comparing vibes. Who looks more in control? Who does the team rally behind? Who walks into the huddle and instantly elevates everyone around him? Spoiler alert, it's not the guy with the guaranteed money. There's something else happening too, something more dangerous if you're in the Browns front office. The players are starting to speak up, not in rebellion yet, but subtly. Amari Cooper has praised Shedeur's command of the offense. David Njoku has commented on how timing just feels right when Shedeur is under center. Even Myles Garrett has hinted that the rookie brings something different to the practice field. These aren't throwaway lines. These are strategic leaks. Quiet nods of confidence that the locker room is ready to move forward, even if the checkbooks say otherwise. And let's be real. When your $230 million quarterback is getting publicly upstaged by a rookie, you don't have a quarterback controversy. You have a quarterback crisis. Because if Shedeur continues to outplay Watson in camp and preseason action, Kevin Stefanski's job becomes a high-stakes balancing act. And no matter how you slice it, someone's ego is going to get bruised. Option 1, you start Shedeur. That means benching your highest-paid player and risking a media firestorm. It means explaining to ownership that the investment didn't pan out. Not yet, anyway. It means letting the fifth-round kid become the new face of your franchise right now, and hoping he's built for that pressure. Option 2, you stick with Watson. And every time he throws a pick, every time he takes a sack, every time he misses a wide-open Cooper across the middle, the boos will rain down like clockwork. And you'll have to justify leaving Shedeur on the bench while your offense sputters. Neither choice is easy, but one has momentum, and one is hanging on by contract ink alone. Behind the scenes, the front office is already planning contingencies. You better believe those conversations are happening. How do we restructure if we pivot? Can we trade Watson next offseason? What kind of veteran backup will we need if Shedeur starts week 1? They're not saying it out loud yet, but they're bracing, because the franchise train has already started shifting tracks. And speaking of Shedeur, let's talk about how he's handling all this. Cool, measured, focused. He's not posting cryptic tweets. He's not talking about haters or being doubted. He's just showing up, lacing his cleats, and balling out. That's the most dangerous kind of quarterback. The one who doesn't need the drama to fuel him. The one who lets his play speak volumes. The one who understands that leadership isn't just about what you say. It's about how you carry the moment. Even his interactions with Watson have been surprisingly respectful. No sideline tension. No locker room power plays. Just mutual professionalism. But don't let that fool you. Shedeur knows what's on the line, and he's not backing down. You can feel it in his cadence at the line of scrimmage. You can hear it in the way teammates talk about him. You can see it in the body language of this team. The Browns are changing before our eyes. And the media, they're catching up. After weeks of trying to keep Shedeur's name buried beneath Watson headlines and picket fence optimism, reporters are finally leaning in. You're seeing terms like QB battle and open competition pop up in headlines. You're seeing interview questions subtly shift. Suddenly, Stefanski is being asked about Shedeur's progress, not just Watson's durability. And when coaches are forced to start answering those questions seriously, you know the narrative is real. But what happens if Shedeur actually starts week 1? What does that look like? Picture this. It's a home game. The crowd is electric. The chants start before the first snap. Shedeur, Shedeur. He walks out, helmet buckled, eyes locked. First drive, he's calm, composed. Hits Njoku for a 12-yard gain. Next play action slant to Cooper for 17. Then a deep ball to Elijah Moore down the sideline. Perfect touch. Crowd explodes. Now it's not just about promise. It's about payoff. And if that happens, there's no turning back. The Browns become his team. The offense becomes his system. The future becomes his era. Of course, we can't ignore the pressure, because it's coming. Defensive coordinators will circle his name. Media will comb through every incomplete pass. Fans will ride the roller coaster of rookie mistakes and breakout brilliance. The job only gets harder from here. But so far, he's made hard look easy. He's done what every great quarterback does, made extraordinary feel normal. And in a city that's been starving for a leader, a winner, and, let's be honest, a little hope, that's not just exciting. It's transformational. We've said it before and we'll say it again. You can't fake locker room energy. You can't fabricate leadership. And you definitely can't manufacture momentum. Shedeur Sanders has all three. He didn't ask for the spotlight. He earned it. And now that it's on him, he's not flinching. So here we are. The countdown to week 1 is ticking. The depth chart decisions loom. And the Browns, once the NFL's perennial question mark, suddenly have something they haven't had in years. Certainty, not in the form of a contract, not in the form of pedigree, but in the form of a young quarterback who's defied every label, every doubt, and every expectation. So what now? We wait, we watch, and maybe, just maybe, we witness the beginning of a franchise finally getting it right. What do you think? Is Shedeur ready to take the reins week 1, or should the Browns ease him in behind the scenes? Let's hear in the comments. And if you're all in on the Shedeur Sanders era, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Because trust us, this story, it's just getting started.